Hi, hi, hello. Oh god, I feel like I don't know why I'm wearing a denim jacket in my bed, but let's just ignore that. Okay, hi, hello, welcome back to the Late Night Talks podcast. I am Hafidos, your host for this season, this show, this podcast. Thank you for tuning in either on the audio side of things or on video. If you're seeing me, hi. I hope you are doing well. Today's video, today's episode Today's episode is titled Alone But Okay, which is a topic I always love talking about. One thing's for sure is everyone's gonna die, and everyone you know is gonna die. Unfortunately, everyone's gonna die, but that's sort of the beauty of life. Everything comes to an end, nothing is permanent, everything is sort of temporary. Something I really do enjoy is my individuality and my independence. And from a very young age, I've always wanted to learn how to do things on my own. And I feel like that's always been a struggle for my parents, mostly my mom. Since I'm the youngest child, it's always been something that she's had to adjust to, understanding that, hey, your son isn't gonna be like, Mom, please do this for me. Like, I'll just go and do it. And if I fail, I'll just do it again. And that's something I've always found different about myself. Like, for example, immediately as I turned 18, I decided to travel and like go on a solo trip, which to many people might be like really daunting or like really like nerve-wracking. But to me it was really exciting. It was really like it made me face the idea that, oh, I might actually like have something go wrong on this trip and I won't have anyone to blame but myself. But everything turned out great. Like I feel like the more you build it up into in your head, the more prone to things you are to bad things happening. Yeah. The more you sort of overthink it and analyze it, the worse it gets. One thing to be alone is something you should have like the privilege of, whereas being lonely is something that you really put into and not really a choice that's up to you. Although you can push people away and that would end up making you be alone and lonely. The difference between being alone and being lonely is that being alone is like a state of being, whereas being lonely is more of a feeling and more of like a way that you feel in the moment. Like you could be surrounded by people but still feel lonely. And you can be in a situation where you know a lot of people but you prefer to be alone, which is so different. Like in so many circumstances, I felt like I was lonely rather than alone, even though I've wanted to be alone. That's something that's really important to understand is the difference between being lonely and being alone. And I feel like everyone in their lives should appreciate and spend some time alone and really enjoy themselves alone whenever they can. Because being alone is something which is really nice once you really like learn who you are as a person and learn what your likes and dislikes are. Like you could really enjoy some quality time with yourself. And I say, like, for example, some things I do in order to like further strengthened relationship with myself, which is so weird to say, but like it's an actual thing, is like just being able to love yourself and being able to love the time you have for yourself is, for example, like doing hobbies or like doing things which you don't really have to put a lot of brain power into. So for example, going, I don't know, to a restaurant, eating out. It's okay to eat out alone. No one's gonna judge you for that. And a lot of people are like really insecure about that. But just go to a nice restaurant by yourself. You don't need other people to like give you an excuse to eat out and have like a really nice meal. You can just do it by yourself. Another thing you could do is like go to the cinemas and like watch a movie. Like watching a movie by yourself is something which is so nice. I mean, a lot of people do it already at home, but like going the act of going to the cinema and like getting dressed and looking nice and like, I don't know, doing things for yourself rather than for the appreciation and for the, what's it called, like doing things for other people just so you feel valued by them isn't something that we want. Well, we do like some appreciation from others, but like at the same time, you should do things for yourself, you know? And doing things for yourself already without needing an excuse of someone else to go out with already puts you in that frame of mind of, oh yeah, this is why I do this and this is why I do that. It's easy as that. Something I do is like if I'm going out, I ask some of my friends. But to be honest, I ask some of my friends just to be nice, like rather than like, oh, you need to come or please come, so I have an excuse to go out. Because necessarily, I don't really need an excuse to go out. Like I can just go and do it. Like no one's stopping me. It's like even like going on a solo trip. You don't really need anyone else to be with you. You just go and enjoy your time there. And yeah, at times it could be quite lonely, but I find myself that you experience loneliness when you have a certain expectation of what others will act like with you. When people don't make you feel like you're part of a community, and when people sort of shun you away, or like they don't really have you be engaged or feel like you are part of something else, it really makes you feel lonely. And feeling lonely can be something which is really, really bad. Like, I feel like I've seen myself go through some of the darkest times when I felt lonely. You know, feeling lonely is something which is like, it's really a sad time. And I feel like not a lot of people understand that a lot of people in life are lonely and they just want someone to talk to. And sometimes all you need to do is just listen, and that person would really appreciate your time for just doing that. It's really something which we really take for granted from others, and just some quality time with someone else would really help. Like other people, I feel like the world is really like the world has a lot of stresses and a lot of distress due to communication. And I feel like us as people, although we're like social beings, we have such a hard time with communicating what we feel. Like, if you feel something, it's so much more, it's so hard to explain what you feel to someone else, let alone someone you don't maybe like speak to regularly, or someone you don't really feel that close to. I feel like being able to appreciate that quality time is something which is really important, but that's also why you should, like, from a really young age, start learning how to be independent and how to sort of be able to build your own path of like, oh, hey, listen, I should really be my own best friend, be my own best person, so that whenever I feel down, I can like just look to myself for that community. Yeah. I feel like my sense of community started off from the internet, from like due to bullying in school, and that was something which was quite hard for me. But it really strengthened me as a young kid because I just understood that, hey, I might not fit in, but doesn't mean I'm bad. It just means I'm different, and sometimes difference can be something which is scary for others, and like having that unique aspect to you might be like intimidating for other people. It doesn't mean that you're in the wrong, and doesn't mean you should get shunned or feel lonely. But it's all about understanding other people's perspectives. And although people might do bad things, I don't believe that bad people exist just for the fun of it. People are a reflection of their actions. Like, if someone's doing something bad, it really says much more about them than their action. Like, hurt people hurt other people, and they keep on just adding to the overall just bad vibes of the entire world. And yeah, it's something that I just learned how to understand and appreciate for myself, that you don't need anyone else's justification, and you don't need to be justified by anyone else. You just need yourself, and you just need to really just strive for yourself and just enjoy your own time. Something about me is, I mentioned in my previous episode that I'm extroverted, so my personality type is ENFJ. If you know your personality type, just drop it down below. I want to know more about you. So tell me all about, like, what are you? Like, are you introverted? Are you extroverted? Personally, I'm extroverted, but doesn't mean I can't enjoy time by myself. I do gain a lot of my social energy, and I do gain a lot of good vibes off of other people, and I am able to like bounce off of others. But I really do feel like I've learned who I am as a person, and I've gone through uh, quite a long journey of self discovery and also like self understanding of who I am as a person, that when I'm alone, I'm like five people in like one room. This is my room. I vibe in my room. I've built a space where I feel like really safe and really comfortable and secure. But yeah, like, I feel that although I'm extroverted, I really do appreciate my alone time. And that really, like, that was a struggle for me to understand what's the difference between enjoying your time alone and being extroverted. Like, for the longest time, I thought I was introverted, but it didn't add up because I didn't have introverted personality, like personality type qualities. I didn't have introverted qualities. I just had extroverted qualities with the addition that, oh, hey, I don't mind spending time alone. I don't mind doing things by myself. You know, something which is funny is most of the times when I do spend time alone, I still manage to make friends or I still manage to like create a group of people. I've done it when, like, my first solo trip was to Denmark, and I went to watch Blackpink in Copenhagen. And I went to Copenhagen because it was one of the smallest venues from all of the European tour, and it was one of the cheapest, but didn't make sense because later on found out that like from Malta to Denmark, I had to catch like 3 flights to get there and 3 flights back. So I feel like that's the furthest. No, I went to Norway. Never mind. Like Denmark is one of the furthest away places I've gone to within Europe. And it's funny how it turned out because I didn't want to go to Italy or like Spain or France, which to be honest, because I was scared it'll be overwhelming. And also, I really wanted to have like a great viewing spot and like being able to like enjoy the concert for Blackpink. I think I mentioned that it was a Blackpink concert. My first ever solo trip was a Blackpink concert. If you want to see more of that, it's over on my vlogging channel, Hafidos IRL. I have the entire trip here from Malta going over to um, Denmark, and then I have the entire concert day, which is nice. But yeah, even when I was there, I just managed to somehow, I don't know, I sometimes I speak out loud, which is such a bad habit of mine. I just speak out loud and I just say dumb things out loud, and then I realize people can actually hear me, and I start making jokes inside of the venue, like waiting for the concert to actually start. And it was funny because I wasn't planned to be in the VIP section of the concert because I ended up buying a last minute ticket because I couldn't stand because I couldn't stand being in the cold. It was minus 3 degrees Celsius, um, freezing. Yeah, below freezing. But yeah, it was my first time experiencing snow. It was my first time experiencing like actual winter, which is like so rough and tough. And overall, it was a nice experience. But yeah, I managed to make like a group of friends, and we all like ended up just bonding over our shared love of Blackpink, also K-pop, and also like just, I don't know, like in the moment, it's such a nice bonding experience. Like that's something which I didn't experience when I went to see Harry Styles. Is the bonding experience of it was so nice. And when I went to see Harry Styles, I wasn't alone, so it could be that factor that I was with someone else. So maybe me being alone for a concert made me socialize more and find the right people better. I also really enjoyed the solo trip much better than like being with others. I feel like with friends, the friends you have in your life, it's a make or break situation when you go abroad with them. You could either have the best time or you could just end up hating each other by the end of the trip. I feel like it's the same thing when you're moving out. If you ever think about moving in with your friends, is living with someone you know and not knowing their lifestyle can totally change your perspective once you like see them 24/7, or like you're spending the same, like you're sharing the same space together. Small things that people might do that might, tick you off and tell you, oh, hey, I don't like this, I don't like that. And if it's like if you're going abroad with someone for maybe like 3 days, I'd say okay. But like if you're doing 5 to a week plus, you're risking it. And to be honest, make sure you pick your friends right. Something about me is whenever I go abroad, I'm quite like independent. I have everything organized, I have everything planned, and I'm down to do that with whoever I am with. So if I'm going abroad as a group, like I'll be taking care of the group. As a trade-off, I'd expect like them to be much more understanding if I had to like mess up somehow, because that's a big fear of mine, is messing up. And when I'm alone, it's much less stressful than when I'm with like multiple people. Because when you're with people, there's like that pressure of like, oh, I need to figure this out because it's not only me. And yeah, how did I end up talking about like going abroad with people? Another thing is the fact that from a really early age, like I think from the age of 13, I knew I want to do something which is like in social media or the internet. Like I've always wanted to be doing the job that I do now. And as a job itself, I have to sort of be at the face of my own career. So I am my own boss, I am my own manager, I do my own things. And also, I run my own socials and I also run my own content that I create. And to some certain extent, that also drains your social battery. So, being able to enjoy some time alone really does help you. As a career path, surprisingly, being a content creator and being someone who's like a public figure in social media is quite lonely, which not a lot of people talk about. You might think it's quite like, oh no, you have people watching you, you have people commenting, you have people messaging. You know what a big difference it is being someone receiving those messages or receiving likes, and being someone who's not receiving them. Like, I feel like, you know how if you're a fan of someone, you have that parasocial bond, parasocial relationship. I feel like it goes the other way with the person who's like in the spotlight. Yeah, I was gonna do this like in the face of the camera, but like in the literal sense, you are in the spotlight. I feel like if you're in the spotlight, you're too in your head to be able to like chill out and see the people that are watching you and appreciate the people that are your fans. The whole idea that you have this built bond with someone over the internet is something which is so strange, because basically you watching this, you know what I'm saying and you know me, but I have no clue on who's on the other side. You could be like someone who's like really young or really old. You could be male, female, you could be like, I don't know, a 60-year-old man, and you can be like a 5-year-old kid. It's really weird. Like, we have such diversity in the world that you never truly know who the person is on the other end, and you never really get to like experience that, oh, I have a community, unless you're like meeting the people. As a career path, being in social media and being someone who does content can be quite literally so like lonely. Even though I do enjoy my time alone, I feel like I've gone through waves of just feeling really down, just because I couldn't speak to anyone who's in the creative field who really understands what I do, because they're either on the really professional side where they're like, I don't know, doing things which aren't really social media based, and they aren't really doing what I do, or else they're on the flip side, which is like nothing related to social media. So I'm stuck in this in between where I don't know what I can talk about and not talk about with people that I know. It's like, I really want to talk about my struggles, but also at the same time, I don't really want to sound like I'm complaining, because I don't want to be complaining about something that I'm doing that I love. But at the same time, it does come with a lot of things that you really need to like understand that you're signing up for, even though you might not know that it's such a prevalent issue. Because I feel like a lot of social media and content creators don't really talk about it, because they might feel like they have a certain level of privilege to complain about the job that they're doing. Because to some certain extent, it is. I mean, if you're doing your dream job and all you have to complain about is, oh, I don't have ideas to create more videos, or oh, I don't have people to like be able to talk to, it's like, just do your damn job. But at the same time, since your career and your life becomes sort of this one merged mesh thing, it really does become this like, oh, I am living my job and my job is my life. And although it's really nice, like for example, for someone who's like me, like I'm a really big workaholic, and if I'm like passionate about something, I'll work at it 24/7. But on the flip side, it's like I don't have time to socialize with friends, or I don't have time to like enjoy my time alone, or I don't have time to enjoy, I don't know, the simple things in life. And that's why, like in my previous episode, I spoke about like having a break and like really understanding that, hey, sometimes you need to just step away. Because I feel like once you start spiraling, that's when things really go wrong, is the fact that you don't understand that, hey, maybe it's not working out right now, but it will later on. The whole idea of like numbers and just that constant struggle with like challenging yourself, even though a lot of people say, oh, don't let the numbers get to you. They do, because they decide between you having a successful career or you just like not having a career at all and having to find another job. Like, you need to do good. So if you're wasting time not being able to create something which is impactful, like, you're doing nothing basically. So it's really important that you find that perfect in between where you're able to be transparent but also self-aware, but also like being able to reach out and open up to people and being like, hey, listen, I know that maybe today I don't really feel like I am the best and maybe I should sit this one out. Sometimes I have like hangouts planned with friends and I'll prefer having some time alone. It's really important to like be able to be transparent with the people around you, being able to just communicate. I feel like this is the key thing about this episode, is communication. however you're feeling, try to understand it. Try to understand why certain actions you're doing them. Like, try to self-evaluate yourself and psychoanalyze. That's something I remember from psychology. I also feel like there's this really big stigma around being alone, and something I really do catch myself doing is I do work events, and I feel like events are the one thing I still have to like really triumph, like really push myself to not be socially awkward around, because in most occasions I'm not socially awkward, I'm not socially anxious, but in events and like festivals and parties I get the most like. And I think it's the fact that at these like events I'm the guy running around with my phone and I'm recording random people, and I'm like put in these situations where I need to like look like I'm having fun, but also at the same time I'm doing my job, and also at the same time I need to like find this perfect in between where I'm like, okay, you need to like seem professional, but also at the same time, if I was at an event and some random guy started filming me with his phone, am I gonna be like, oh yeah, he's working? I think it's some weird ass, you know, creepy guy filming me. I've slowly learned how to smile because that's something I didn't do, is like smile at people, like, and just try to communicate that, oh hey, I don't have any bad vibes, because I used to just go up to people with my phone and be like, can I record you? I'm like, that would put me off. But yeah, like at these events, something I do catch myself doing is checking my phone and always being on my phone. Like, I literally have my phone glued to my hand wherever I go. And it's not the fact that I don't enjoy myself alone, it's just that I feel so out of place and I feel like I'm a fish out of water. So I'm constantly like, I should be working, I should be running around, I should be doing something. Because if I'm not, I feel so like, I freeze up. And yeah, it's enjoyable, but I really do like disassociate during these events, and I feel like I've said events a lot, but like during these festivals and like parties and club nights, I guess I really do disassociate with the whole idea and thing. And even with like the videographers and photographers, I feel like I can't really relate, because like I feel like if I had a camera in hand, people would take me much more serious. Like, people would take me more seriously rather than like having a phone. I don't know. It feels really weird, but I really do enjoy the job that I have. And if you're watching this and you're someone I work with, like, I don't want to sound like I'm complaining. I really do love my work and I really do love my job, but at the same time, it's such a weird thing. It's such a weird like concept to have. We've gotten to a point where we need to like hire people to film these occasions just because social media works to that extent, and that could make or break like a festival or event. Like, you need people to show up, you need people to go to these events. And yeah, something I really do is like I really try to evoke the feeling of FOMO. But it's funny, I spoke to my friends about this. I'm getting FOMO of what I could have been doing outside of work whilst at work. And when I say work, it's like if I'm at a festival, like for example, this past weekend, I had Take That, which is like a really vibe. Like, it was a vibe. It was such a nice vibe. It was on Saturday and Sunday, and it was during the day and like from the afternoon till night. And although I didn't feel it that much, previous events, if I didn't really like vibe with the music or didn't vibe with the artists, I'd really feel like a feeling of, oh, I'm missing time outside with friends, or I'm missing time outside, that like when I could have planned something else. And I mean, it's also a toxic thing I do, is I either constantly work or I don't work. There's no in between. I flip between working nonstop and like not working, which is really bad and I really need to work on. But you need to understand your work style, and you need to understand the way that you do things, and just adjust and try to like find a compromise in between those things. But I embrace it. You know, some people call it being a workaholic, some people call it being inconsistent, and some people call it being a mess. I just call it being Hafid, being myself. But yeah, it's fun, it's nice, it's a lot though, and it can really drain you. I'm not someone to like really communicate how I feel that much, which is weird because I'm out here preaching about communicating your feelings. But I also find myself that I'm able to understand how I feel. I'm able to like really understand, oh, this is the way I am, and this is the way I'm feeling, and this is the reason why I do this, and this is the reason why I do that. I don't really find myself to be that complicated, although I might not always like show the way that I'm feeling. Um, but also I'm like sometimes I'm scared that I don't really feel s- feelings. Like this is so weird to talk about, but like sometimes I'm scared that I'm not able to experience certain emotions, and I'm only able to like reflect off of other people's emotions, which is really weird to say, but like it's a big fear of mine is that I'll get to a point of numbness that I won't be able to like distinguish different ways that I'm feeling. I'll just be like, that's life. And I feel like it's just due to like trauma in life. I don't know what to say. Going back to loneliness and being alone, there's a big stigma around being alone. Like, even the idea of like talking about you going, like, I feel like if you tell someone you're going somewhere alone, they might think you might not have like friends to go with. And I, I hate the idea that you do things alone out of not having any other option. I want people to like better understand that hey, it's a choice I'm making and it's something that I want. Like I want to do this alone. No one has to like do it with me, you know? I just chose to do it alone. And it's frustrating that people might think that oh, you don't have anyone else to go with. It's like no, I just like my time alone and I just like enjoy myself doing certain things alone. I still enjoy my time with people and I still enjoy my time socializing. Like that's a big thing of mine. Like I'm extroverted as fuck, but like sometimes you really need that break and sometimes you really need to step back and sometimes you really need to just let yourself take in the time that you have to yourself. Because in life, I don't think you have that much time to yourself. So make of it as much as you can. Something I've really struggled with the whole theme of being alone is being able to find the perfect balance between family, friends, and myself. I feel like that's something that I really struggled with in my teen years and growing up. I'd really prioritize myself or my friends, and my family didn't really get that much time. And it's something I really do regret, but at the same time, I'm really happy that I like recognize that pattern of behavior early on. Like I think I recognized at like the age of 16 and tried my best to like really enjoy and spend time with my family rather than like, only doing my thing or whatever my friends do. I also really used to do something which is so frustrating and I wish I didn't do it as much. But as a teen growing up, I was quite like a people pleaser. I think it's because of the fact that I didn't really have that many friends to hang out with. Just as context, I like in my teen years, like so from the ages of like 13 up until like 16, because then COVID happened and like, but during my teen years I didn't have that many guy friends. I only had like female friends, and most of the time when they would do something, if I wasn't involved, it was when we were younger, it was because of the fact that I was a guy and they were girls, and the whole thing of guys hanging out with girls, you can't, it's really dumb. I don't get it, but it's something that like some parents don't approve of. So whenever anyone would plan something, I would just go and do it. And I remember myself like I'd have multiple groups of friends and I just jump in between people. And one time two friend groups of mine went to the cinemas to watch a movie, and my ass, instead of saying no to one group and going the other group, I went to both groups, like to go out with both groups. So I literally left one movie 30 minutes before it ended and went to the next door cinema to start watching the movie with the next group, which I don't understand the logic behind that. I could have just said no to one group, but it was something I really like was scared of. I felt like as a teen, if I didn't hang out with certain people and if I didn't like people please everyone, people would not hang out with me and people would not like me and people would just forget about me. And it's something that I really like try to make sure I don't know, was always on point and everyone liked me. And oh god, you shouldn't like, I had a really big phase and I feel like I'm literally in that phase somewhat, just getting out of it. I feel like COVID really helped with like being able to spend time alone. But I really used to like care about what other people thought. Like, oh god, I used to overanalyze every conversation I had with anyone, and I would like mark down everything that I said that might have been dumb or like sounded really bad or didn't make sense. And I would just make sure that the next time I meet the people, I would like make a better example of myself, and not look as dumb or not look as weird, which is so insecure to have that mindset. But also, I really feel bad for myself being a teen and feeling like that. Like, no one should have to feel like that. You're young, do stupid things, no one cares. Like, life doesn't have to be that serious. Come on, you just hang out with friends. um but yeah, I feel like true friends are those people that you can really act stupid around, and you can do whatever you want, and they won't judge you, and they'll just laugh with you, and they'll just enjoy the time you guys have together, rather than the people that, like, I don't know, criticize and criticize and just make fun of every single aspect that might be different about your, I don't know, might not align to normal standards of society. Something else is like technology, of course, and social media. I feel like spending time alone is learning. Oh god. I feel like learning how to spend time alone includes getting away from social media, because that could also be something that's like making you socialize and like be surrounded by people, whether you like it or not. People you have parasocial relationships with, although it's not real, like the parasocial relationship aspect, you are still investing time into that. And yeah, I really am trying my best, but I'm really trying my best to like step away from social media when it comes to like spending alone time and really dedicating a few solid hours a week where I get time alone. And like I really am trying to go back to things I used to do as a child, which I don't do anymore. Like for example, play video games. Like video games are such a great thing to do on your own. Like sometimes I really want to get back into like playing Sims. Oh god, I love Sims. I really want to get back into Sims 4. Even like simple things like listening to music, painting, drawing, journaling. There's so many things you can do on your own without needing others, that I feel like you should invest some time into, and you might find yourself enjoying a new hobby or a new pastime that just can become something that you do as, like, I don't know, a side gig or something you do as just for fun. It's fine. It's fine to do things just for fun. That's something else which is really important. It's fine to do things for no reason. You can enjoy something without needing to like have a reason to do it. You can waste time, but also make sure that you waste your time efficiently. So dumb. Waste time efficiently. Make sure that you're wasting time as great as possible. Value the time that you waste. Yeah, that's the wording. I feel like rather than giving away 3 hours to TikTok or something, just doom scrolling for no reason, why not invest it into something which might have been something you could have done with yourself alone, even cooking. That's something else that just came to mind. Cooking is something you could do on your own, and you can learn so many new things. I really need to get like into my cooking era and like learning how to cook things on my own, because I really don't. And anyways, I feel like that's it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please don't forget to like, subscribe, follow, rate this podcast 5 stars, and I'll see you in the next episode. Tell me how you feel when you're alone. How do you feel when you're put in a situation where you need to be alone, without any distractions, without anything? Oh god, wait, before I end the episode, I really want to talk about raw dogging, which is I know what you're gonna say. You're gonna be like, what? No, but I've seen this phenomenon on TikTok where people raw dog flights, which is so weird, where they don't do anything which is stimulating to the mind, where they don't like use their phone, where they don't go to the bathroom, where they don't drink, where they don't eat. They just sit in the seat and they just like don't do anything, and they just stare, which is so weird. But also at the same time, that's a really like crazy thing to do. It's like meditation, but like next level. Anyways, yeah, that's something I wanted to mention. But yeah, have you ever raw dogged a flight? That sounds really bad. Have you ever spent time alone? Have you ever solo traveled? Have you ever thought about solo traveling? I feel like if you have thought about it and you need a sign, this is the universe's sign telling you, hey, book that flight to go somewhere alone. And you should really like enjoy yourself. I feel like life is short, and a lot of people are always scared that they'll be spending life alone. But I feel like more people should be scared of not being able to spend more time alone in life. Because before you know it, you'll have a family, you'll have a partner, you'll have someone in life that you care about, and you'll be spending most of your time with them or around them. And you you won't be able to spend time alone. But I feel like even family and even like friends and even like the entire concept of relationships is nice, but at the same time you should really learn how to appreciate and love yourself before it's too late and you're unable to do that because you're at such a stage in life where you're so used to being surrounded by people that if you're put in a situation where you're alone, you just spiral and you don't know what to do with yourself. But yeah, that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video. What am I saying? I hope you enjoyed this episode. I still have to get used to this podcast, like the podcast format. Oh god, that sounded so Maltese. I still have to get used to the podcast format, but yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, please don't forget to like, comment, follow, subscribe, rate it to 5 stars, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.